Hello and welcome. I'm Emma.
And I'm Max. We're so excited to talk with you today about how to master English in less time. Learning English can feel hard, but we're here to help make it easier and faster.
That's right, Max. Today, we'll share simple ideas to help you learn English quickly without feeling stressed. So, whether you're just starting or have been learning for a while, this is for you.
Okay, let's get started. First, Emma, have you ever heard someone say practice makes perfect?
Of course, Max, that's such a common phrase. And it's true. The more you practice, the better you get. But here's a tip: short, regular practice works better than long, boring study sessions.
Yes, for example, instead of studying for 2 hours once a week, try 20 minutes every day. That way, you keep English fresh in your mind.
And do you know what else helps? Using English in your daily life. Don't just study from a book. Try speaking, listening, and writing in English every day.
Exactly. Let's talk about speaking. Even if you're alone, you can still practice. Try talking to yourself about what you're doing. For example, if you're cooking, say, "I'm cutting the vegetables, now I'm boiling water."
That's such a great idea, Max. It feels strange at first, but it really works. And if you can, find someone to practice with a friend, a teacher, or even a language partner online.
Listening is also super important. You don't need to understand every word. Just listen to English songs, podcasts, or shows. Your brain will start to recognize the sounds and patterns.
Oh, and don't forget about subtitles. Watching movies or TV shows with English subtitles is a fantastic way to learn new words and phrases.
Yes, and here's another trick: repeat what you hear. If you like a sentence, pause and say it out loud. Copy the tone and speed.
That's called shadowing, right? It's a fun way to practice pronunciation.
It is. And what about reading? Emma, do you think people should read books in English?
Definitely, Max. But start with something easy, like children's books or short stories. You don't need to read big, difficult novels.
That's a good point. And while you read, don't stop for every word you don't know. Try to guess the meaning from the sentence.
Yes, guessing is a skill too. If you stop for every word, it slows you down. Instead, focus on understanding the main idea.
And don't forget writing. Even writing 1 or 2 sentences a day helps. You can keep a diary in English, write about your day, your feelings, or your plans.
That's such a nice habit. And if you're unsure about your sentences, use a translation app or ask someone to check for you.
That's so helpful. Also, don't be afraid of mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning.
Absolutely. Every mistake teaches you something new. So never feel shy or scared to try.
Emma, do you remember your first time learning another language?
Oh, yes. It was hard at first, but I learned it faster when I started having fun with it. Games, music, and talking to people made it exciting.
That's such a good reminder. If learning is fun, you'll want to do it more.
Exactly. So think about what you love, maybe sports, cooking, or travel, and connect it with English.
That's a fantastic tip. You're learning, but it doesn't feel like studying.
Right, and don't forget to reward yourself. If you reach a small goal, like learning 10 new words, celebrate.
Yes, treat yourself to something nice. Small rewards keep you motivated.
Learning English doesn't have to take forever. With small, smart changes, you can save time and still learn a lot.
So true. These tips are simple, but they work if you stick to them.
And we're just getting started. Let's keep going and share more ideas.
All right, let's keep going. So, Emma, let's talk about one of my favorite ways to learn English faster: building good habits.
Oh, good habits are so important, Max. When you have a habit, learning becomes automatic. You don't even need to think about it.
Exactly. For example, you can make it a habit to listen to a short English podcast every morning while you eat breakfast.
Yes, or you can read a page from an English book before you go to sleep. It's not about doing big things, it's about doing small things every day.
That's right, and let's talk about something else that's really helpful, setting goals.
Oh, I love setting goals, but they need to be clear and realistic. For example, instead of saying, I want to be fluent, you can say, I want to learn 10 new words this week.
Exactly, Emma. Small goals like that are much easier to reach. And when you reach a goal, it feels great.
Yes, and it keeps you motivated. Max, do you think it's helpful to use a schedule for learning English?
Definitely. A schedule helps you stay on track. For example, you can decide, I will study English for 15 minutes at 7 p.m. every day.
That's a great idea, and you don't have to stick to one thing. You can do something different each day, maybe listening one day, reading another, and writing the next.
Right. That way, you won't get bored. Speaking of boredom, Emma, how do you keep learning fun?
Oh, there are so many ways. Max, one of my favorites is using apps or games to learn new words. There are so many apps that make learning feel like a game.
Yes, and they're perfect for practicing vocabulary. Another fun idea is to join an online English group or class.
That's such a good tip, Max. Talking with other learners can be fun and motivating, and you learn so much from each other.
Exactly, and if you like music, you can use it to learn English too. Find songs you love, listen to them, and try singing along.
Yes, singing is great for pronunciation. And don't worry if you don't understand all the words at first. The more you listen, the more you'll learn.
Oh, and here's something fun. Make flashcards with new words and phrases. You can even draw pictures on them to help you remember.
That's a great idea. And if you don't like writing flashcards, there are apps that do the same thing for you.
That's true. Now let's talk about one of the biggest problems people face when learning English: fear.
Oh, yes, many people feel scared to speak or make mistakes.
But fear slows you down. The truth is, making mistakes is a good thing. It shows you're trying and learning.
That's so true, Max. And remember, no one speaks perfectly all the time, even in their own language.
Exactly, so don't worry about being perfect. Focus on communicating. If someone understands you, that's what matters.
And most people are kind and patient. They won't laugh at your mistakes, they'll respect you for trying.
That's right, and here's another idea to save time while learning: use technology.
Oh, yes, technology is amazing for learning English. You can use apps to check your grammar, translate words, or even find someone to practice speaking with.
And don't forget about social media. Follow accounts that teach English or share tips. You can learn a lot just by scrolling through posts.
That's a great tip. And if you like writing, you can even leave comments on posts or videos in English.
Yes, it's a simple way to practice writing and connect with others.
And what about learning from mistakes, Max? Do you think people should focus on their mistakes?
That's a good question, Emma. I think it's important to notice mistakes, but not to feel bad about them. Learn from them and move on.
Yes, like if you use the wrong verb tense, you can think, okay, next time I'll use the correct one.
Exactly, it's all part of the learning process.
And Max, let's not forget about relaxing. Sometimes people try too hard and get tired.
That's so true. Learning works best when you're relaxed and having fun. So, take breaks when you need them and enjoy the process.
Yes, because learning English isn't a race, it's a journey, and every step counts.
Absolutely. And remember, every small effort you make today will help you tomorrow. Let's keep going and dive even deeper.
All right, let's keep moving. One thing I really want to talk about is staying motivated. Max, don't you think motivation is the key to mastering English quickly?
Oh, definitely, Emma. Motivation is what keeps you going even when learning feels hard. So, Emma, what's your favorite way to stay motivated?
For me, it's remembering my why. Why am I learning this language? Maybe it's for work, travel, or talking to friends. When I think about my reason, I feel excited again.
That's such a good tip. When you know your why, you'll work harder. Another idea is to celebrate your progress.
Yes, even small wins are important. Maybe you learned 5 new words, or you spoke English with someone for the first time. Celebrate that.
Exactly. Give yourself a little reward, like your favorite snack or a fun activity. It's a way to make learning feel good.
And speaking of feeling good, I think positivity is so important. Sometimes learners feel frustrated or say, "I'm not good at English."
Oh, I hear that a lot, but the truth is, everyone can learn English. You just need time and practice.
Yes, instead of saying, "I'm bad at English," try saying, "I'm learning English, and I'm improving every day."
That's such a great mindset, Emma. Positive thinking can really change the way you learn.
It really does. And Max, do you think learners should compare themselves to others?
No, not at all. Everyone learns at their own speed. Comparing yourself to others can make you feel bad, and that's not helpful.
Exactly. Focus on your own progress. If you're better today than you were yesterday, that's success.
So true, and another thing that helps is keeping track of what you've learned.
Oh, yes, you can write down new words, phrases, or grammar rules in a notebook. It's nice to look back and see how much you've learned.
That's a great idea, and if you're using apps, many of them show your progress, like how many words you've practiced.
Yes, and seeing progress is such a good feeling. It reminds you that all your hard work is paying off.
Emma, what about people who say they don't have enough time to learn English?
That's a common problem, Max, but even if you're busy, you can still find little moments to learn.
Like when you're waiting for a bus or standing in line, right?
Exactly. You can review vocabulary, listen to a podcast, or read a short article. Even 5 minutes can make a difference.
Yes, and you don't need a lot of time to practice. The key is to use your time wisely.
And speaking of time, another tip is to focus on the most useful things first.
Oh, that's a good one, like learning everyday words and phrases instead of trying to understand really difficult grammar right away.
Yes, for example, learn how to order food, ask for directions, or talk about your day. These are things you can use right away.
Practical English is so helpful, and once you're comfortable with that, you can move on to more advanced topics.
That's right. Step by step, you'll improve. And Max, let's talk about confidence. How can learners feel more confident speaking English?
Great question. Emma, confidence comes from practice. The more you practice, the easier it gets.
Yes, and it's okay to start small. Maybe practice saying simple sentences, like "How are you?" or "I would like a coffee, please."
Exactly, and remember, you don't have to speak perfectly. If people understand you, that's what matters.
And don't forget to smile. Smiling makes you feel more confident and helps others feel comfortable, too. Me too, Max. And remember, learning English doesn't have to be perfect or take forever. With small, smart steps, anyone can master it.
That's right, and before we go, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Yes, subscribe and share this podcast with your friends and family. Thank you for joining us today.
See you next time, and happy learning.
Bye, keep practicing and enjoy the journey.